Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Jeremy Scott Fitness Podcast Radio Show, coming to you on this Friday, September the 8th, 2023. Hopefully, it finds you staying safe and staying sweaty all at the same time. On today's episode, we got a quick hitter for you. Nothing super complex. It'll only take a handful of minutes, but I think the message is important, hence why I'm sharing it with all of you today. We're going to title this bad boy Choices, Chances, and Chipotle. It actually comes from Justin Yule, which I'll touch on in a little bit here. But before we kick in, just a couple of reminders. One, the Action Hero Jack 2.0 program is kicking off here in 3 days, 8, 9, 10, on the 11th. So Monday is the start date. The link is in the bio. The original program was on men's health. This is the new and improved version of that bad boy. It is not easy. It's not for everybody. So I would tread lightly. But again, we have so many programs inside the app for all of you guys who are already in there. Anybody who's on the fence, JeremyScottFitness.app, you guys get a week for free. You can try it. If you dig it, stay with us. If it doesn't work for you, I'm happy to point you in another direction. Also, on the docket here, we are doing a mastermind group, which a lot of people have been asking about. Dave DiLorenzo and myself have put together this kind of built different mastermind, if you will. I'm going to put the link in the show notes. It's just an exclusive kind of coaching group for entrepreneurs, solo, small business owners, people who are looking to, I don't know, maybe make a change or kind of feel overwhelmed, not sure what the next steps are. Obviously, people who have a small to probably medium-sized business that works. Mine's on the smaller side. Dave's is on the medium side, but I do think we have a unique perspective we can offer people. So that is out there. Timeline-wise, I'm not sure when we're kicking this thing off. There's an application process. We'll kind of vet everybody, see what works best, and ideally we'll go from there. But it is in the show notes if you guys want to check it out. And if you're interested and say, hey, Jeremy, I love what you do, like with your business. I've had Dave on a bunch of times. Obviously, his crazy energy. He's a lot of value to give. I think it's something that can benefit a lot of you guys. For me personally, being part of mastermind groups for many, many years, some of the best relationships I've ever made, but business-wise, some of the best investment I've ever spent. I look at that kind of stuff instead of, having a massive car payment in my early 20s. I invest in a mastermind group, and that car today would basically be worthless, and the mastermind investment is still paying off until this day. Not just the knowledge and the skills, but the relationships as well. And you guys already know, real quick before we kick off, this episode is brought to you by my homies at AG1. drinkag1.com/Jeremy Scott gets you guys a year's supply of free vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with order 1. If you've heard a bunch of other people talk about it, you've seen it on TV, you've seen other people ramble, but you want a free sample, 100% free on me, shoot us a DM, message us. We will get you a sample right to your front door. I don't care where you live. We are getting this to you because we want to help you guys. I don't know if anybody else is doing that. I have never heard it, but I'm happy to do so. It's the one thing I take every single day. I never miss. I eat as best as I possibly can. Get busy too, been very diligent on my food, but I still so I can cover the gaps. If I can't, say vegetable fruits day. Vegetables do be tough, so that's why honestly, to get the I probably have to take 16 different meals, which I'm definitely not going to busy, and I travel, so travel packs are money. I feel it helps with gut health. A little energy kind of support, and again, an excuse not to take it. I actually do like I almost came on. I'll do it for I have, and that'll be kind of the start of the evening. So if you kind of want to improve your health, I'd say give AG1 a shot. AG1.com/Jeremy Scott gets you the year supply of vitamin D5 free travel packs, or simply hit me up and ask for a free sample, and we'll get you guys some ASAP. All other sponsors are going to be in the show notes for you guys. We've been through them before. If you want like our free supplement guide, or if you have questions, we have full podcasts on those as well. So happy to refer you if need be. Now, this is a quick hitter. Before I even jump into just the episode itself, I want to look at something that I was sent the other day. I think this is important. I'll probably throw it up on Instagram here in the next day or so. So if you guys hear this first, you were privy to it before the world. It's just a quote. I believe the name is Lori Deschene, Deschene. And it's a simple quote. And the quote is, sometimes all you can do is accept there's not much you can do. And sometimes all you can control is how well you let go of control. I'll repeat that again in case anybody needs to hear it. Sometimes all you can do accept there's not much you can do. And sometimes all you can control is how well you let go of control. And, I read it on a day. Did it fix everything in my life that day? No, it certainly didn't. But it did make me feel a little bit better, and it did give me some perspective. I'm just like you guys. I have things that go on in my life. And sometimes just these little reminders and hearing things from people close to you is the thing that just, needs to kind of help push you through the day. And that's why we kind of put out these podcasts, like these type of episodes and some of the videos on Instagram, to not for the 90% of people who maybe it doesn't impact, but it's for the 10% of the people that it does. And sometimes we all just need to hear some positive affirmation. And it's like, hey, man, sometimes you're just going through some shit and you just want to be through it and you're not quite there yet. And that's really tough. But you just got to keep pushing. That's all I can say. So this episode is basic. It's something that Justin Ewell, who is a fellow fitness pro, entrepreneur, he's a business owner. He is in, I believe, Chanhassen, Minnesota, somewhere up there. They run a great business up there. He put out this masterpiece of an email that I wanted to pass along, because it's a conversation that obviously we've had in our business multiple times, and I think a lot of people have too. And it's not about trying to sell somebody on like buying our app, or sell someone on buying one of our programs, or training with us in our facility. It's just perspective on what we value and what we've normalized. And I've talked about this before in different ways. This is just a different story that he chose to share. And he called it Choices, Chances, and Chipotle. And the story goes like this. Recently, he had a conversation with a woman who was interested in joining the facility. And the conversation was similar to one that you've had many times before. The details of this woman's individual goals aren't relevant, but what I can say is she's definitely a good fit for our gym. And what is very common about her situation is that she's a member of a local health club, but she rarely goes. I think everybody kind of knows the stats here. And I don't have everything specifically off top, but it's probably estimated that about 50% of health club members show up less than once a week. I'll say that again. About 50% of health club owners show up less than once a week, and only 18 to 20% work out consistently. So of all the people, let's say you go to a giant big box gym, and I think those places should exist. I have no issue with the very cheap gyms. They're great. They give people access to equipment. It's awesome. Everything has a purpose and everything has a place. I believe that. I think everything should exist. And so imagine you go to one of these big box places and there's 1,000 members, right? And the building can only probably hold, let's say at the most, 300. But they'll sell 1,000 memberships because they know about 50% of the people show up less than once a week. And only 18 to 20% of those people work out consistently. And that's not all at the same time, on the same day. So you can sell 1,000 gym memberships and only have, 180 people show up a week. And, it's a pretty good profit margin. That's just a side note here. But this lady has a gym membership at a local health club, and she's paying for it and she's never going. She was interested in the smaller environment and the community feel of the Transformation Club, which is his gym, or like a Jeremy Scott Fitness, or my buddy Ben Novak at Spire, or like Travis Merritt runs a small joint, like these type of kind of boutique places where you really get to know the members and help the people. And one of the things she said was she wanted to make some new friends, which obviously, like, we love that. We love people who, want to be part of the community, not just, pay, show up, don't talk to anybody, don't interact. And if that's what you want to do, it's fine. It's yours to make it what you want. But we do like people to be immersed in the community and connect and be together. And this is what she wanted to do. And it seemed like our facility was exactly what she was looking for. And then came the hitch. And if you can guess, drum roll, that was my pathetic drum roll, the price. That was the hitch. Now, let me be clear. Everybody has their own financial situation and limitations. And I know the world is just really crazy right now with money and finances and what is going on and how expensive all of the things are. And I don't know how a lot of that gets, remedied. We'll see, hopefully by people much smarter than me, but it just looks just kind of wild out there. So again, everybody has a financial, cap on what they can spend on certain things. And I'm not knocking anyone who legitimately can't afford like a Jeremy Scott Fitness or a Transformation Club or some of these smaller places, because it's more than $10 a month, because we're not selling 1,000 memberships and we're not just bullshitting you. We're actually getting to know you as the person and we're helping you. And me personally, I'm happy to help in any way I can for people. We have done so many things here. We've had clients here before who have gifted whole year memberships to other people who couldn't afford them. We have scholarships people here. We've done so many raffles and drawings at schools to get people in the door here. Even if they don't have, the best financial means to do it, we work with them where they're at if they're legitimately struggling. Now, if you drive up in here, in an AMG Mercedes and you tell me you need $50 off your gym membership, I'll tell you to go get fucking bent, like that I'm not going to do. Like, Mercedes doesn't need the money more than I do. I promise you that. And that's what I'm talking about. So, but if you legit struggle, we want to get people in. But this conversation, like so many of these conversations, wasn't about just money. Does that make sense what I'm going to say here? It wasn't just about the money. For most people at Jeremy Scott Fitness, it's about $150 to $200 a month. Let's say you're going to come here, a bunch of days of the week. It's about $200 a month. That's what we'll charge you. You'll always have a spot. Everybody will know your name. We're always willing to modify work with you. We'll do everything we can. We'll answer every single question. That's what we do for about $200 a month. And same thing at the Transformation Club with Justin. And when he tells her, hey, it's $200 a month to join here, she says, oh, that's a lot more than I'm paying now. Currently, she's paying $130 a month and has been doing so for quite a long time. And then obviously you reply, is $200 a month really that much more? On the surface, you're looking at a $70 difference. But you're already paying $130 a month to rent access to equipment that you do not use, and they have classes that they offer that you do not like. That seems expensive to me. $200 for something that you're going to utilize and it's going to make your life better, healthier, happier. You'll have a great group of friends that you can connect with, versus $130 to have access to equipment and not use classes and not go. That seems way more expensive. Now, I know one costs $70 more than the other, but one is value, one is nothing. And most people will just kind of do that in these fancier, kind of health clubs. And there's a bunch of them here in Scottsdale too. If you're in a smaller town, it probably sounds, ridiculous. That's $130, but there's places, kind of like a country club where it's like, you can go in and you can work out, but you can also get your hair done and drink a mimosa and whatever the 9 other things you can do there are. So essentially, she's paying $130 a month to do nothing. And on the flip side, with a place like a Jeremy Scott Fitness, You're paying about $17 more a week to attend training sessions designed by myself, led by me or by our coaches, in a community of people who are amazing and who are awesome and who are supportive and who are interested in being a part of your life. They want you in the community. And most importantly, you'll actually show up. You have a set date and a set time. You'll just show up. And if you don't show up for an extended period of time, like, we'll go looking for you. Like, that's what we do. Isn't that worth the difference of $70 a month? And again, I've had this conversation many times with many people. I don't sell anything here. I just market, and I just say, hey, I just present what we do. Come in, try it, see if you like it. Here's what's going on. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. Again, I think the price difference is nominal when it comes down to value add. I mean, for most people, that's about one less dinner out per month, like with your husband or wife. And honestly, like, $70, dude, I don't even know where you can go out to dinner for that anymore because it's so wild. And Justin goes on to write, the last time he had lunch at Chipotle, I'm pretty sure I spent $17. And how often do you eat lunch out per week? Can you do one less of those to make up the difference to afford this gym membership and this experience and this coaching that is actually going to help you? Can you give up the dinner out? Can you give up, maybe not buying this many pairs of shoes this month? Whatever it is, there's probably things in your budget, unless you're like completely on the Dave Ramsey, cash envelope system. Every dollar has a name, and you're like on some pay off some debt journey. For most people, that's not the case. So think, like, can you do one less thing to make up the difference to get you in an environment that's actually going to help you? I think that of gyms. I think that of mastermind groups. I think that of all sorts of like these clubs and these communities that really do enrich our lives. And, would skipping a couple of those things be worth a membership at a place you would actually use and actually get results? And so for anybody listening, I don't know your financial situation, but if you find yourself wanting to do certain things, just look at how we're spending our money and how we're going to spend our time. And I'll touch on this in a second. Sadly, this story, didn't work out well for Justin. He asked her to come in and do the free trial, and she didn't even do the trial. And my guess is she ended up back in the health club, and is probably still paying $130 a month, not to use the membership. I mean, look, at some point, you just got to get out of your own way, and it's not about the money. The point is how we spend our time and how we spend our money is what we value. It's about the value that someone perceives. That's usually what it comes down to. It's not just about the dollars and cents. It's about how much value do you think you're getting in the exchange here. And I think our, normalization of things has gotten so, out of control. Like when you go out here, obviously I don't go out and drink booze here very often or ever anymore. But I think a drink, like a mixed drink out here at a lot of these bars and restaurants, is between probably $15 and $20. Legit. Like a beer is probably $8 or $9. So a mixed drink is like $15 to $20. You're telling me you couldn't skip one like fancy mixed drink on a happy hour every Friday to put yourself in a position to be successful? Like whether that is with a personal trainer or a gym or a mastermind group or a business coach or a therapist or whatever you're looking to do to level up your life. So it's not just about money. It's about how we perceive the value in it. And when I mean, I've talked about this before, like how we look at things, and we normalize certain behaviors, and how we look at other things is so strange and arbitrary. And maybe that's kind of how my brain has always worked. A lot of things I understand, but they just seem, odd to me. Like, you know, doing mobility, let's say for 5 hours a week, which, you're talking 30, 40 minutes a day. Or even if, let's say, you're going to do 7 hours of mobility a week, which is an hour every single day, which for most people is an insane amount to do. But let's just say it was doing mobility for 5 hours. And a lot of people are like, Jeremy, that's crazy. I do 30 minutes a week, which is fine. If you feel good, respect. But we look at doing mobility for 5 hours a week is crazy. And when I say mobility, I know that word gets thrown around a lot, and we lose things in the weeds, but just working the fascia, soft tissue work, moving the body through full ranges of motion, stretching, bending, flexing, contracting, relaxing, all of the modalities that make us, feel better as humans. And if we say we spend 5 hours a week doing that, that's crazy. But watching 15 hours of Netflix on a weekend isn't? How is doing mobility for 5 hours a week any fucking crazier than watching 15 straight hours of TV? You know what I'm saying? Like spending $200 or more on a dinner, which now is normal if if it's two people and you're going out to a nice ass restaurant and you're having drinks, you're over $200. Like, or you're probably close, even if you're at like a cheaper place. So spending $200 or more on a dinner that's normal. That's what we do. And that's one meal. You eat it once, you shit it out, it's gone. But spending $200 a month on your personal fitness, like that's crazy. Actually researching what you're going to buy at the grocery store and then kind of looking for real whole nutrient dense foods, and maybe taking some time to make a couple meals per week and have things, obviously around the house. Like that's going to take time, but Jeremy, it's going to take me like 3 hours. Yeah, but you'll watch football on Sunday for at least 3 hours. And again, I'm not saying don't watch Netflix. I'm not saying don't watch football, but what do you value? That's what you have to start looking at. And I just pose this to everybody because we're all guilty of it. We've all made excuses of why we can't, do certain things at certain points in time. And sometimes you're in a financial bind and that's just it. But a lot of times it's just, what we value and what we see as important and what's worth it to you. It's, as old as time, and what I would say is you just have to understand like the trade. What's the trade-off? And sometimes going the cheaper, more economical route is the right choice, but sometimes it isn't. And there's a saying, sometimes you get what you pay for. And that is true. I've never flown like Spirit Airlines. I'm sure they're awesome. They seem like a normal, airline. I don't know much about them. Just what I've heard in passing. And Delta obviously costs much more than Spirit does. I'm assuming the experience on Delta first class is much different than Spirit is. Is that worth it to you? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. That's how I look at everything else. Paying $200 to be miserable on a plane that gets delayed and lost and whatever, or paying, $400 to be comfortable and get there on time seems worth it to me. And I give the plane analogy because they're traveling on journeys to destinations. That's what your fitness is. That's what your career is. That's what your business is. You're trying to always kind of move the needle forward and be better. And sometimes there has to be sacrifices to invest in yourself, which I do think is the best investment you're ever going to make. So all I ask anybody is, if you find yourself like, kind of in this purgatory state, or maybe you're not making the progress and there's things that you can swap and do, and it doesn't got to be money stuff. It could just be time. Dig deeper and ask yourself, what's really stopping you from taking action in any area of your life, be it your fitness or your business or your relationships or your love for travel? Only you can answer those questions. And I would look at not just the financial investments you're making into those areas, but look at the time investments you're making. I think that's even more important. The money we spend matters. Obviously, it's an economical world. We can't escape it. But look at the time investment into areas of your life. If they're not where you want them to be, is there a way you can invest either more time or slightly more money into those areas to accelerate your results 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times faster? See if you can't diversify some of your time and your resources a bit better to reach all of your goals. And don't be the person who turns down an awesome opportunity, over a couple of bucks. And, I don't know the person's, personal finances and everything, but for most people, $70 a month is, not going to make or break you. And, from a bad product to a good product, I actually think it's very reasonable. And you don't want to be stepping over dimes to pick up pennies. And sometimes people do that. And I would urge you guys not to. So that's all it was today. Just a quick little message on how we spend our money and how we spend our time. And obviously you have to invest in yourself. You have to save for the future, but you have to enjoy your life and you have to live it today. And I'm a big fan of paying for things and investing in things that enrich my life, if it's physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and just, not investing a lot of time into the drama and the bullshit and the things that, can drag you down. And again, everything gets to everybody. Like we all get touched. None of us are immune to the world. But if you can really hone in on how you spend your time, and if you look at the areas of your life that are lacking, a lot of times it's just because we're not giving it the time and attention that it needs. So take that with you today, you guys. If you have questions on the Action Hero Jacked 2.0 program, the link is in the show notes here. We kick off on Monday, September the 11th. It's a 9-week program. It's 3 weeks, then 3 weeks, then 3 weeks. We triple it. See how you guys kind of progress over time. It is advanced. It is not easy. It's not for everyone, but a lot of you guys had requested it for sure. And a bunch of other stuff inside the app. We got a bunch of stuff coming towards the end of the year, but we're loading obviously weekly workouts in there all the time. There's already 1,000 workouts in there, plus all the full programs. And again, you can try a week for free. If you guys also want a free sample of AG1, hit me up. I will send you a sample right to your front door. I'm happy to get it in your hands personally. And then if you guys have any questions, any of you business owners, entrepreneurs, people who have a side hustle or are looking to kind of level up and do different things, the Mastermind link is going to be in the show notes here too. You guys can check it out. Maybe it's for you and it might be a perfect fit to rock with Dave DiLorenzo and myself later this year in a really close-knit community of people who are just, iron sharpens iron. We're all just trying to be a little bit better each and every day. So have an amazing rest of your Friday, you guys. And until next time, eat well, train hard, be nice to people. Oh, I almost forgot here. If you're on Apple Podcasts, drop it a 5-star. Leave a comment. I truly would appreciate it. If you're on Spotify, drop it a 5-star there too. And if you're on Google and you want to drop Jeremy Scott Fitness a 5-star Google review, we'll take it there too. So I appreciate you guys. Now, until next time, eat well, train hard, be nice to people, and please, you guys, keep doing shit you love with people you enjoy because your life is too short not to. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.